So guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Aiden and Caleb.
Sup guys?
And we're gonna be reacting to some My Story animated, or Story Time animated, and this one is called I Got Pregnant in Elementary School. And we're probably gonna be reacting to like two of them, this one and another one. So yeah, let's get into the video.
Hi, my name is Kayla, and I got pregnant when I was still in elementary school. I grew up in this really small island. We had few neighbors, and children didn't get to go to public school. To study, I would have to travel many miles every day, and my parents couldn't afford it. My mom and dad wanted a better future for me, and they began saving up every penny they earned. It was a hard time because we had little to eat, and my parents worked almost all day long. I had to help out a lot around the house, even if I was really young. I can't thank my parents enough for everything they did for me, and I know I disappointed them by getting pregnant when I was so young. I hope I can make it up to them and repay them for all their effort and love. When I was 9 years old, they managed to save up enough money to move to America. I knew a little English, but it was hard starting from scratch. I had a lot to learn, and I had never gone to school at all before arriving to the USA. Everything was new to me. Growing up in such a small island, I wasn't used to the busy streets or being surrounded by lots of people. I wasn't used to the fast-paced life of the city either. It was all so foreign and odd to me. What was worse, I was older than my classmates when my mom and dad finally managed to get me enrolled in a public school. I was really eager to learn though, so I studied hard and paid attention to my teachers. I did my homework every evening and practiced speaking and writing in English. Dad worked 2 jobs, and that allowed Mom to take care of me when I wasn't at school. That was also a big change, because they usually didn't have enough time to be around me often. I was really happy about this. I was a kid and really needed my mom to be by my side. She helped me with my homework and motivated me to be responsible. I became a great student, and my teachers considered allowing me to skip a grade. Since I didn't have any previous education, they decided against it, even if it meant I was older than my classmates, and I showed promise. Perhaps, they told me, I would be able to skip a grade or 2 when I reached high school. 6th grade arrived, and everything was going well. My parents had both managed to get far better jobs. Dad was able to be home every night, and we were living in a nice apartment in a better neighborhood. My life was a lot better than it had ever been at the island. I had friends, I was studying, we lived in a nice place.
Alright, I'm just wondering when she's going to show she got pregnant. Because she's in 6th grade, that's middle school, not high school.
We were not
the video is 10 minutes long.
But it was more than enough for us. That was when I met this really nice guy named Brad. I fell in love with him immediately. My parents allowed us to date because it seemed like it was so innocent. After all, we were both still so young. We spent a lot of time together.
That's like you and your girlfriend.
Bro, hold up!
We were foolish and
it's
really
making me
young.
mad. Come on, girlfriend.
One night, while my mom was working overtime,
I thought you said
stayed home
you got back
alone.
from her.
We began having too much fun, and one thing led to another. At first, I didn't notice anything was different. A few weeks passed by, and I began getting sick in the mornings. Mom got concerned, but since I felt better after a while, she brushed it off as the flu. I didn't want her to be concerned, so I pretended I didn't feel queasy most mornings. I kept going to school and studying as normal, but things kept getting weird. My stomach began swelling up, and by then I knew that something was wrong. I talked to Brad.
Ow! I fell on my chair from my bed. Ow!
I completely freaked out and didn't want to tell my parents anything about it, but there wasn't anything else I could do. That night, I blurted the news out in the middle of dinner. I was too upset to try and calmly explain it to them. My parents were incredibly mad. They scolded me for hours and couldn't believe I could have gotten pregnant since I was so young. They took me to the doctor and wanted to confirm if it was true. After a quick echography and a blood test, it was confirmed. I was expecting a baby. The doctor told them I was over 4 months pregnant, so there was no other choice but to keep the baby. When we got back to our home, my mom and dad started arguing. Dad said I was ruining my life, and Mom said
oh my God!
I was their daughter, and even if I had messed up, they couldn't turn their back on me.
Oh my God! Nobody cares about your YouTube video.
Nobody cares about Disney Channel. Like, seriously.
Clear it to you.
Wait, copyright! Oh no! Can you skip out the ad?
No.
four of them met up. Brad and I were terrified, and all the adults were furious. They explained that they would support us, but that the baby would be our responsibility. We would have to keep studying, and when we arrived home from school, we'd take care of our son or daughter. We agreed immediately, of course, not only because it was the right thing to do, but because we were both terrified of our parents' anger. I continued studying all through my pregnancy. I was very lucky since both my parents and Brad's mom and dad really were there for us every step of the way. Against all odds, Brad and I continued dating all through high school.
Share.
When we graduated, we moved in together with our daughter, Lucy. We have a great relationship and get along so well with all four of my daughter's grandparents. We are a happy
Mr.
family
Shark
and are
is
doing
here.
great.
Mr.
We both
Shark
have
is
good
here.
jobs and plan on
Oh,
having
share.
more children in a few years. Sometimes people think that I'm Lucy's sister instead of her mom, but we don't mind. We worked really hard to raise her well, and we will continue to try and give her the best life possible. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and check out the other videos on the channel.
Alright,
Bonus story.
after this one, bonus story,
I was in
then we're
7th
gonna quit
grade
the
when I
video,
met
guys.
Ken. He was what all the girls fawned over every day for the whole year. Ken had transferred from a bigger school and seemed mysterious to most of the kids in our small school that was so small both high school and middle school were combined. I would see the high school freshmen every day in the library where I went during my free period to read and study. It was here that he noticed me, offering to tutor me in math, which I had struggled at. We had grown attached after that, and Ken would spend every moment he could texting or sending me silly pictures. It was during summer break that we met up and decided to start dating, making all the girls in my
Caleb,
class
could you
jealous of our relationship. We all know teenagers often make mistakes.
Caleb,
and I
what?
was no different.
They can't see
Ken
it.
had been talking about sex for weeks and how
Bruh.
much he wanted to try it with me. I, being inexperienced and wanting him to like me, eventually gave in to the pressure. The experience was awkward and entirely too rushed, making me feel like perhaps I had missed the point of such an important moment. However, we started to enjoy one another even more, and this led to unintended consequences for both of us. It was a few weeks later, shortly after I turned 13, that I began feeling sick to my stomach. Every morning I would wake, throw up the meat.
Alright, guys, if you start feeling like that, like nauseous and like start throwing up every morning and stuff, like you feel dizzy and stuff when you wake up every morning, it means you're pregnant. So that's basically what she's doing right now.
Or
Looks
you
like
could
she
just
has-
have the flu.
Yeah, but most times you're pregnant.
Ill
if you're
from
a
the night
girl.
before and
Stomach.
get back
Or
in
you could
bed.
get a stomach bug.
Soon, even my mother
'Cause
noticed
I've had
and
one
took me
before,
to the
and that
doctor
thing
for a
is
checkup.
Like,
She
you
was
instantly-
horrified
like,
to
whenever
find
you
that I
wake
was
up,
almost
throw up,
8 weeks
3 seconds
pregnant,
later, throw up.
tears streaming
It
from her
sucked.
eyes as the doctor told her what my options were. Of course, I was starting to panic. I didn't know anything about children or being a mother, but none of that mattered. I couldn't end the life within me, and I couldn't stop it from happening. I was going to be a teenage mother, and nothing could change that now. My mother wanted an explanation when we got home, and I told her everything, how I really liked Ken and that we never meant for any of this to happen. My mother was still furious, but I needed to tell Ken what had happened before someone else told him. I called him up, telling him we had to meet, and he agreed, deciding to meet up just around the corner at the local park. When he showed up and I told him the news, he seemed offended, as if I was lying to him about my condition. He told me he wanted nothing to do with the child, and it probably wasn't even his. I was infuriated, walking home to tell my mother what had happened. It seemed she already understood, preparing me for upcoming appointments and classes to better prepare me for the monumental task
When a
ahead.
shark eats
I
someone's
felt my child growing and moving every day, even at school where others treated me differently than they had before. Most of the girls in my class, when they found out who had impregnated me, had turned on Ken, refusing to even talk to him. Even the upper class girls refused to acknowledge him, making him transfer schools halfway through his sophomore year. It was a painful year, and in the end, a few months later, I was made the mother to a beautiful baby boy, and that's when the real work started. I pushed through school until I was 16, dropping out to get a job at a small restaurant as a server. I had become withdrawn and avoided hanging out and all my friends, as my whole world revolved around my young son. My mother helped me in so many ways, allowing us to live with her while I worked long shifts to try to afford the basics. Once he was old enough to attend daycare, I decided to go back to school and get my GED, and then enroll in a community college to continue my education in preparation for a better life. Those long years of scraping by, living with my mother, and earning my basic degree were tough and had hardened me for the world ahead. If I have any advice for anyone watching this, please wait until you are ready, and don't let anyone pressure you into doing anything you don't want to. If you enjoyed my story, hit that like button and subscribe for more videos. See ya!
Alright guys, let's end the video. We're gonna end the video right now. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys probably tomorrow or something like that. But bye.
But I won't be.